The worst thing that can happen when you go on a road trip is having your motorcycle break down. Your itinerary, your wonderfully planned motorcycle getaway will all be flushed down the drain.
And if you're traveling with a friend, you'll get one very pissed off friend.
Imagine that friend is your special other.
Mark will be showing us what we need to do to get our bikes ready to tour to prevent all these things from happening. This series has been brought to you by Direct Asia.
Hey bro, what you doing?
Protecting my investment lah. You never know when you get into accident what.
No bro, not like this lah. If you want to get yourself covered, go with Direct Asia. They are the only motor insurance company offering 30% NCD after holding your NCD 20 for 2 years with an NCD protector plus optional benefit.
30%? Then if my friend want to ride the bike, how?
Get the Any Rider optional benefit. Direct Asia will protect the unnamed rider that you authorize. Also, if you mess up your bike, you can send your machine to any workshop of your choice. For more information, check out Direct Asia's website. Links in the description below. Terms and conditions apply.
Your bike is going to be put under many hours of constant strain, especially if you're going to be cruising at high speeds over long distances. Maintenance is crucial to avoid a messed up ride and a messed up trip. We'll be starting off with the easy ones, things that most riders should be able to do, him or herself.
Well, from what I know, I would guess the first thing will be engine oil, right?
Yep, that's right. Engine oil is one of the cheapest preemptive maintenance you can do. Engine oil cools and lubricates all critical components in your engine.
Yeah, and we all know what happens when you don't use enough lube.
Be aware that engine oil degrades with heat and time.
That means engine piang.
Yeah, if you don't do your maintenance lah, right? Most bikes come with either a dipstick or a viewing window. Refer to your owner's manual for the proper way to check the engine oil level of your machine. If you are unsure when you last changed your oil, go ahead and just change it. Changing your oil early is much better than changing it late. Since we're on engine oil, go ahead and do a quick inspection around the engine in search for leaks. Leaks tend to get worse over time, so get them fixed ASAP.
Speaking of things that gets worse over time, let's talk about my
Sprocket and chain. Sprocket and chain. Sprocket and chain is the final drive before power is sent to your wheels. Bad sprockets or chains can completely mess up your ride. I once had my chain snap on the road. Not only was it dangerous because it locked up the rear wheel, but the chain had so much energy that when it snapped, it slapped the engine and cracked my engine case. That was very, very painful. If you see sharp teeth on your sprockets, kinks in your chain, or hear a loud, constant ticking sound when you accelerate, change it. Never ride, let alone tour, on a chain that sounds like that. It's also good practice to lube your chain every 500 kilometers.
Now that everything is properly lubed up and there are no stray leaks, I'm guessing the next thing is to keep everything cool and breezy. That will be the 333 head buff, right? Right.
Bro, that's with my head. For the bike, it's going to be coolant and radiators. Not all bikes will have coolant and radiators, but all bikes will need some way to stay cool.
So if my bike is air-cooled, I'm all good?
Yes, if your oil and your oil cooler is good. For liquid-cooled bikes, always check the expansion reservoir. You should find a minimum and a maximum level. Check your manual to find the proper way to check this level. Different bikes will usually have different procedures.
Well, I know that good rubber saves lives. Nothing good can come out of broken rubber. So we gotta make sure our tires are good. Tires.
Bro, family show, bro. Family show.
Tires!
Your tires have about the contact patch of the size of a 333 flashpay car. Worn or hardened tires are dangerous. Worn tires won't drain water fast enough on wet roads and hardened tyres are at risk of failing catastrophically. Tyre pressures are also super important. Look at the markings on the side of the tyre, and there should be a rating written on them. Inflate your tyres to the cold PSI rating when your tyres are cold, not after being on the road for some time. Do not pump them up beyond that pressure because air, like anything else, expands when heated. Since we're here, let's speak about bearings, something that's overlooked by almost every biker. To check your bearings, you want to apply a lateral force. Place one hand on the tyre and the other on the suspension and push and pull. If you feel any give in the bearing is worn and you need to change it. We spoke about this in our How to Survey a Used Bike, links in the description below.
Now can we go vroom vroom?
Not yet. You can go fast, but you need to slow down. You should always check your brakes before any ride. Make sure the levers don't feel spongy and that you have enough meat on the pads. You really don't want the backing plate of the pads to grind on your rotos.
I'll let it grind on my rotos any day.
Head bearings are a really simple one. With the bike off stand, press the front brake and rock the bike back and forth. Pay attention to the head stem. If you hear any knocks, feel any give or clicks, that means the bearing is toast and needs to be replaced.
Recently I heard a friend crash in a turn. Then he blamed the head bearing. Is it got such thing?
Oh yes, of course. Faulty bearings can seize and they can seize while you are in a turn, causing you to crash. We don't want that.
Nope.
Cables are also really easy. Look for any fraying around the exposed part of the cable. If it's frayed, change it. If you feel resistance, lube it. Up next is something that a lot of Singaporeans or city drivers don't use, although it's improving: signal lights. If you use your signal lights, kudos. If you don't, start using them. You know who you are. Using your signal lights can mean life or death on the road, especially at high speeds. Always, always, always make sure your indicators are working and use them. Just as important is your headlight and your taillight. These lights help make you visible on the road day or night. They are so important. This section is more for the techie bikes with electronics. As much as possible, check and recheck that your electronics are working, at least the important ones, like your alternator, ABS, basically anything that involves managing the bike. Things like USB power is secondary.
Unless you're like Amos, his phone always dies.
Right. You got Type-C USB cable, let me know.
You see? It helps to bring some spare fuses. These fuses are cheap and readily available. Just be sure to check that you're buying the correct size and the correct rated fuses. Another thing that's good is to make sure that you've done your major servicing if you haven't done it. Wrongly timed valves, dirty air filters or bad plugs are only going to potentially give you problems down the road. Totally not worth it. So these are the basic maintenance tips that we've got for you, and they are very important to keep in mind if you want to have that perfect getaway trip. We also prepared a checklist for you to bring to a motorcycle workshop to get the job done if you're not as hands-on as us.
Hopefully this video will ensure that your bike is well prepared for that long-awaited trip. You'll quickly find out which of your friends hate you when they're stuck waiting for a tow truck because of you. Thank you to Direct Asia for making this video possible. Stay tuned to the next episode where we share more information on how to get yourself ready for a tour. With that, I'm Jake.
I'm Mark.
and we'll see you on the road.